Hi folks, I'm Laird Landon. I recently released a book called Caregiving, Journey to a New Horizon with my co-author, Glenn Henshaw. The book is a compilation of 20 real caregivers telling their stories in their own words. Some of these caregivers have gone all the way through the journey and are now doing well. Others are right in the middle of it, feeling the despair and the concern that you may be feeling too. The book is divided into 6 chapters, each representing a phase that caregivers go through. Each will represent a turning point and a major decision that you have to face. We hope the book will answer some of your questions and explain some of the feelings that you have that don't make sense to you. The first phase is for you to realize what you're in for. This is a very emotional part. You may learn that your loved one has a serious terminal illness from a diagnosis a doctor gives, or many people think it's normal aging and just deal with it year after year until they realize something is very wrong. This is a time when you realize you will lose your loved one, and that's tough. But it's more than that. You also realize that your planned future together, perhaps your retirement, is not going to happen. And personally, you will realize that you are going to have to take care of your loved one for a very long time and may lose yourself in the process. The second phase is for you to commit. Now, for many people, committing is easy and natural. For a spouse, for a parent who raised you, but for some people, commitment is difficult. Imagine being the only one in your family who is responsible for caring for your sister who's an alcoholic and a diabetic, and no one else will go near her. You're committed because she's your sister, but it isn't going to be fun. Remember why you commit, because it's going to get tough. You're putting on a backpack at the beginning, and you're going to add stones to that backpack, and it's going to wear you down. So realize your commitment and come back to it when you can. The third phase is to reach out for help. Many of us don't want to do this because we think we can handle it all. We're doing it out of love. But this backpack you put on, it gets heavy. Initially, it isn't too hard. You're going to do the same tasks you've done before, maybe take over some of the tasks they used to do, like going to the store and putting out the trash and mowing the lawn. But eventually, you realize you're doing everything, and you can't sleep at night. We need to learn how to reach out for help. Friends, family, a counselor when you doubt yourself. A support group can be very helpful to be with people who are like you and who understand what you're going through. Please remember, most people look back on their journey and wish they had asked for help sooner. The fourth phase is to learn to delegate. It's one thing to ask for friends to help out while you go to the store. Delegating means you get to a point where either or both of you just can't do it anymore, and you have to turn over the job to a professional. This could involve placement. This could involve hospice. This could involve redecorating your house so you can bring professional in to help. But at some point, it could be because your husband starts wandering in the middle of the night and you never get any sleep. It could be because your husband falls down and you can't pick him up. it is not safe to care under certain circumstances, and you have to rely on professionals. The fifth phase is to become an advocate. When professionals come in and start taking over, it's very easy to think, I don't have a job, I'm not important anymore, I failed because I had to bring someone else in. The truth is, you didn't fail, you did the right thing, and now you're in a position to advocate on behalf of your loved one who isn't able to communicate as well anymore. You will educate the staff on the likes and dislikes of your loved one, the music they like, for example, so they can play that music to calm them. You will tell them what concerns you have about the service that they're giving. Tell them how you would like to see it and work with them. You educate them. You oversee them. And finally, you are part of the care team. And that means give more compliments than criticisms. When you criticize what they're doing, they write you off as a meddling family member. But if you compliment them, they will respond, and then they will open up and welcome you. Being an advocate is a very important phase. The sixth phase of the caregiver's journey is to grieve. At the end, there is active dying, death, and dispersion of items that were used while the person was alive. Of course you will grieve. You will grieve because you care and you don't want them gone. This is important. A second point is that very often caregivers who sustain over a long period of time caring, they feel relieved that it's over. This causes us naturally to feel guilty. I'm relieved and they're gone, but the truth is you're relieved for them partly because they're no longer in this never, never land of not being alive and not being dead. They're not in pain. And for you, you are relieved you can take off that backpack. That's a little scary because you've been doing this for so long, you don't know what's going to come next. The second thing I want to say about how caregivers grieve is I wonder if you realize it. You've been grieving all along. Grief means you are processing a significant loss in your life. That loss isn't just about death. That loss is a divorce. That loss is your home burns down. That loss is your dog dies. Those things matter. And you've been doing it all along as they fade slowly. Every time there is loss, there is grief. And you've been on that journey for a long time. It's natural to feel relieved. For 10 years, Glenn and I each cared for our wives with dementia. I just had the first year anniversary of my wife's death. We were so profoundly moved by our experience that we want to help other caregivers. We hope this book does. We also conduct support groups for caregivers at a local hospital. And we do individual coaching. In addition, we're doing Zoom support groups now. If you'd be interested in more information, please email us at caregiversupport@icloud.com. We hope this book helped you. I'd like to leave you with 2 pieces of advice you can use throughout the journey. Ask for help whenever you need it, and take care of yourselves as best you can. Thank you.